Welcome everyone to Wrestling Tonight. This is our first show. I'm Victor, this is Brandon, this is Dylan. Basically what we're going to do every week is we're going to have on the show just a recap of what happened during that week's WWE shows, Raw and Smackdown. Let's get right into it because it was a big week. Obviously the biggest news was the return of The Rock, the People's Champion.
And they used to call him the Great One.
The Great One.
And he had lots of nicknames.
And so and then on SmackDown, the biggest news was basically Edge being stripped of his title by Vicky Guerrero. But let's get into the rest of the action before we get into the big news. Basically, the show started with, basically we noticed that Jerry Lawler wasn't there, so our condolences go because his mom passed away.
And his mom passed away, so he gets a day off.
And then from there, basically started with John Cena versus CM Punk, and this has been going on for a little bit. Those guys have been going at each other for a little bit. So it was an entertaining match. It went back and forth. The biggest thing that came out of this match was that CM Punk had help from a Nexus member who was under the ring.
We knew who gave him the wrench, didn't they say?
No, they didn't.
So he gave him a wrench, and then when John Cena was going to grab him, CM Punk slapped him right in the face and then put him to sleep with his move. Yep,
and then from there, Alberto Del Rio came out and did his thing, which was, what does he usually do?
He usually, his announcer usually comes and says, Alberto Del Rio.
And then what does Alberto Del Rio do?
He's like, my name is Alberto Del Rio. Okay.
Yep, and then before he could do anything else, Edge came out and reminded him what, Brandon?
That Alberto hit him with the guitar.
And
then they went at it for a little bit, and Edge was gonna spear Alberto, but he got saved.
When he threw the flowers,
When he threw the flowers, but then Alberto got out of the ring and was saved. And then right then was when Vicky Guerrero came out and informed Edge that because of his spear during his match versus Dolph Ziggler, that he was basically stripped of the belt, and it was going to be given during the next SmackDown episode to Dolph Ziggler. And she said she had proof that Edge is the one who attacked Teddy Long. I don't think that's true. What do you think, Brandon?
I don't think that's true, because Edge never does that.
What do you think, Brandon?
I think Vicky Guerrero. Well, I'm betting that anybody that says that someone else did it, they're the ones that did it.
Yep, and then after that, it was we saw a video of the 221 2011 announcement or reappearance of someone. I think the person in that video is Undertaker because of the way he was dressed.
He's like dressed with a long dark jacket, and then he wears a big hat, and he has long hair, and he's from the dead.
Well, I think that it could have been anybody. It could be John Cena. It could be Triple H.
And then after that, it was a Divas title match between Eve and Natalya, and it was a Lumberjill match. It was a pretty good match, and every time we see Eve, she's better and better, and it looks like she's actually got some wrestling skills. The best part of the match was, for me, was when Eve jumped from the outside of the ring onto all the Divas, and that was pretty crazy. That was like a John Morrison move, right?
Yeah, and then she just Natalya just tried to do another move where she can pin Eve, but Eve switched it around and Eve pinned her.
Yep, and then afterwards we saw basically the Bellas and Eve backstage, and the Bellas attacked Eve, and it was kind of
the other girls help, and the other girls who don't help tried to attack.
And then after that was basically Mark Henry was coming out. I don't know what he was coming out for because I don't know if it was a match or whatever. But then Sheamus came out and did
him right in the face. But I think it was supposed to be a match between those two because remember Sheamus said the only way Mark Henry could win a match if it was a kicking contest. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, and so after that, it was a match between The Miz and Daniel Bryan. Now, I was surprised with Daniel Bryan because I've seen him wrestle over the last few weeks and kind of unimpressive, but during this match, he was really impressive and did a great job, and The Miz gets better every week. I mean, when he first got the belt, I didn't think he was that good, but he's gotten way better, and he's actually entertaining, both on the microphone and also in the ring. What do you think, Brian?
Well, I think if it wasn't for Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler he'd be the WWE champion by now.
And then after that, the next match was supposed to be John Morrison versus R-Truth, but because of what happened to John Morrison, which was what, Brandon?
He got.
CM Punk had the spray. It was probably something that could hurt you. It sprayed in his eyes and then kicked him wide in the face.
So because of his injuries, the GM made it a tag team match with John Morrison and R-Truth versus David Otunga and Michael McGillicuddy. The match was pretty good. Went back and forth. The biggest thing that came out of this match was basically John Morrison getting angry and attacking, the other guys. Yeah, and go ahead.
And when John Morrison was angry, he looked at Mason Ryan and he told R-Truth to come on and so he can throw him, and then he threw R-Truth so he can hit Mason Ryan. Then John Morrison just kicked one of the Nexus people in the face, and then when David Otunga was a wimp, he didn't care and he just stayed out there while John Morrison pinned.
Yep, and then after that we had the Great Khali's Kiss Cam, which was, it was alright. I don't like that kind of stuff, but what did you guys think? What do you think?
Well, I think the Kiss Cam, obviously it was a Valentine's theme because that Monday was Valentine's Day, the day of love.
Yep, and then after that we had Randy Orton versus Sheamus. It wasn't a bad match. The biggest thing was that the CM Punk and the Nexus came out and attacked Randy Orton, but then the rest of the participants of the Elimination Chamber came out and they all fought. It was, it was all right, but that was all that really happened. That was basically the end of the matches in Raw, which I didn't think that was the best match to end the show with. But after that was basically the greatest moment in WWE history.
The great one.
When the great one came out. Now, it was really suspenseful. The lights went out. They kept us at the edge of our seats for a good 5 minutes, and then you heard the music, The Rock's music, and he came out, and it was unbelievable. The place went crazy. We went crazy here at home watching it, and I couldn't believe it because I basically used to watch wrestling when The Rock was a superstar, and they didn't know The Rock except as a movie star. So now for them to get to see him as a wrestler is unbelievable because we get to share that experience.
And we have him in 2007, 2011 because we have a game called WWE, and we just got them.
Now, I thought it was going to be a woman because before this, we saw a limo and a woman's feet come out, so I thought it was going to be Stephanie McMahon. Or Beyonce. Then when he came out, he stopped and wasn't The Rock for a few minutes. He was there as Dwayne Johnson and thanked the fans for letting him go be a movie star, but he said he was going to be back and that he wasn't going anywhere. And I wonder if that means he's going to be wrestling for a while or
John Cena, but John Cena was talking back talk, because The Rock thought he was a good guy and wished him luck, but John Cena was talking back talk over him.
Yeah, basically what The Rock mentioned was that when he left, John Cena started talking trash about him, and that kind of surprised him because he thought John Cena was a good guy. And we know he's a good guy because we're fans of John Cena, so this is something that's from the past, but the lesson there is that your past and what you say come back to haunt you. But he went on to say that, wrestling, WWE basically went from Austin 316, tough guy, to can you smell the Rock is cooking, attitude, to now, how do you do it? You can't see me. You can't see me.
I can see you. We can all see you. Then he said, Don't think you look cool wearing your orange, your purple, your blue
yeah, he said he
shirt,
looked like a bowl of what?
You look like
Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, Fruity Pebbles. I thought it was Fruit Loops, but you're right, it was Fruity Pebbles. And then he told the GM sent an email to Michael Cole.
And then Michael Cole was taking one more step and whoa. If you move one more step up there, a flap takes off your mouth. And then he said, "What do you think, Michael Cole? What do you think of?" Well, this is all the time. Michael Cole always tried to interview him.
Yeah, and then what did he say?
He said, "It don't matter what you think." He said this to Michael Cole. He said, "What do you think of The Rock?" And he said, "Well, I think it don't matter what you think."
Yep, and then after that, he basically talked a little more about John Cena. and he did the people's elbow, people's eyebrow. He basically, after that, he talked a little more about John Cena. He did the people's eyebrow, and he did his famous line, "If you smell,
can you smell what the Rock is cooking?"
And I mean, what can I say? That was basically the best part from WWE in a long time.
Because we've never seen, my dad and us never seen him, because he went away to do movies, but he came back to be the host. We thought it was a woman.
And it was pretty cool because he went over, usually wrestling goes over a few minutes.
Like 5.
About 5, but this one went over 20 minutes, and we watched it like 2 or 3 times.
But it cut off, and then my dad knew he was going to do it on the same show, so he fast forwarded back to the part we were on.
And then basically in SmackDown we started the show off with a 12-person tag team match.
It was John Cena, Rey Mysterio, it was Randy Orton, Edge, John Orton, and R2 versus
who, Brandon?
Kane, CM Punk, King Sheamus, Wade Barrett, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, and it went back and forth. The match ended with all of them taking turns doing their finishers. All right, so basically the match ended after they did their finishers, and Rey Mysterio hit the 619, a double 619 on both Dolph and Wade Barrett, and then Edge speared Dolph for the pin, and then right there is when Edge was celebrating that Vicky came out and basically said that she had proof that he assaulted Teddy Long, and she can prove it, and that he's fired, and that the coronation of Dolph Ziggler as the champion would happen later that night. And Edge left slowly to cheer. And after that, it was Maurice and Layla, usually LeCool, but since Michelle McCool is injured, Maurice stepped in, and it was Maurice and Layla versus Eve and Beth Phoenix. It was a pretty good match. Michelle McCool was doing commentary. She tried to come in and interfere, and she was successful. So that was the extent of the match. After that, it was The Miz versus Kofi Kingston, and to me, it wasn't the greatest match. It was kind of boring. And Alberto Del Rio came out and distracted Kofi, and what did he do to distract him?
Well, he took off his I forgot his scarf, and then started hitting Kofi Kingston's hip.
Yep, and then The Miz was able to hit the skull-crushing finale and got the pin. After that, Santino Marella and Kozlov, who we like to call, what do we call him? Coleslaw? Coleslaw. So Santino and Coleslaw were versus Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater, and they won. Santino and Coleslaw won by DQ because the core members came out and interfered. And then what happened after they interfered?
Big Show came and then hit all of them, but Ezekiel Jackson stayed out, and then he went on to fight Big Show, but he wasn't ready.
Yeah, it looked like Ezekiel was a little scared, right?
Because he was like this. He was like...
Well, he was trying to get in, but the rest of the core told him not to.
Because Big Show had that look on his face, like...
After that, it was basically the coronation of Dolph Ziggler as the World Heavyweight Champion. But just as he got the belt, who came out?
Theodore Long.
And what does he usually say?
He said,
"Hello, player."
Hold it, player.
And then he came out and basically told them that it was them who attacked him. But he wasn't sure just yet. He thought it was them because Vicky Guerrero had everything to gain. And then Vicky got a little nervous, and she admitted it, and she said Dolph was the one.
He planned it all, and then Theodore Long just made a match
between Dolph and Edge, and so basically
the spear was rejected from it.
And so it wasn't.
Yeah, it was rejected, but Teddy Long put it back.
So then the very next match to end the show was Dolph Ziggler versus Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship. Technically, Edge became the new World Heavyweight Champion after the match, and then after that, Teddy came out again and did what?
Since Edge beat Dolph, he fired Dolph. But the way I see it, that if Dolph won, he'd fire Vicky. But I think it should have been if Vicky interfered, Dolph and Vicky would have been fired.
And the show ended with Edge and the crowd saying goodbye to Dolph.
Edge sounded like a dead rat, and things were flying from the air.
Yeah, Edge sounded like a dead rat.
And that's all. But stay tuned for next week.
Yeah, we'll do these episodes every week, so stay tuned and feel free to leave some comments.
It's gonna be posted online.
Unless we're in Boston.
And I'm sure the show will improve from week to week. Again, this is our first show. We thank you for watching, and have a good night.
Good night, everybody.